It's another week. It's me again, and yeah, so, see all our number stations that have registered for the net this week. So hi to everybody that is out there. I'm not very prepared this week, as usual. A few things going wrong, as usually happens. But yeah, let's show the schedule before I go any further. There's plenty of time for anybody who wants to register on it. But that's as it stands at the moment. Not very good. What's not good? Audio. Ah, I'm told my audio is not very good. Let's have a listen. I don't know why that is. It says trying to listen to myself. Right. Well, in that case, I don't know. I'll have to pass it over to Leon. Hopefully that's there. I don't know what's gone wrong with the audio. Can't see anything. Anyway, let's put it back to me. What I will show just before I pass it over, I suspect it's the microphone that's is a video that what's going wrong here. To work, come back to me. Go to there. Confusing myself totally. So thanks for Phil for coming and telling me to. I'll just play a video which was sent to me by Weekly Boys to demonstrate what we're up to. Apologies for the audio. It's probably yeah, sounds awful. Actually, I feel myself coming back. Don't know why. I'll see if I can fix it. Anyway, over to there, Leon. You're going to take it, but just 70 from G8Koe.
Okay, let's have some tweets. Okay, let's have some tweets. Hello, Martin, and everybody else on frequency. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Yes, Martin, there's something seriously wrong with your audio. You've probably got that ruddy noise gate on too strong or something. There's no brilliance. It's all sounds like that. Either that or you've selected a very, very low audio bit rate. Anyway, it's overcast here. It's winter all of a sudden, and we've had a lot of rain. Monday and Tuesday, 40 millimeters or so. So the ground is wet. There's a bit of a breeze now. We actually wanted to go and do some night flying on the plane in front of my friend's house, but now the wind is coming up again. Anyway, okay, what have I been up to? I have a serious problem Okay, firstly, the builders have finished. They finished 5:30 yesterday afternoon. They walked out, they're done. So at least now I can start doing my thing again. Right, I am working on a TWT amplifier. It's for 10 gigs. It's 6 to 18 gigs. But there's some little snag in it, and it's all high voltage stuff. This is really a hybrid thing. It's got the latest technology stuff in it. Very high voltage parts on some of the boards, so high that they actually control it via optical fiber. So the front panel, as normal microprocessors and TTL stuff and so on, from there it goes with ribbons onto a board, and from that board it goes with optical fiber to the high voltage boards and stuff. So yes, but anyway, this thing, I'll show you a picture. Let's show you a picture. No, I mustn't do that. I must do that. There's this thing on the table, front panel here looking towards you. I've got terminations on the input and the output, and the golden long aluminium thing on the right hand side is the heatsink with the TWT bolted to it. That's the only RF bit in the whole thing. It's got 40 dBs of gain, 6 to 18 gigs, 20 watts output. Now, just to the left of that, you can see some IC pins and stuff. That's the microprocessor board and stuff. Just behind the front panel is also a lot of logic, since obviously the display and the reading of the buttons and stuff. On the very left hand side of the machine is the low voltage power supplies. There's a whole lot of them. And in the center, at the back, you see those big caps. Behind that is a mains transformer. I think that's for the low voltage stuff. Listen, I've got no documentation on this. I have three of these amps and a solid state one. Now, as I say, the normal mains transformer, I think, is for the low voltage stuff. Then you see those big blue caps. They fed from a bridge rectifier, I think, coming straight from the mains. They drive the switch mode supply for the high voltage, which is obviously 80% of the power consumption of the thing. It runs on 3.7 kilovolts and 1.56 or something kilovolts. The helix voltage is the high one, and the collector voltage is the lower one. It's all negative, of course, because the anode itself is ground, it's casing. And it's got a normal 6.3 volt filament, which is floating at minus 3000 something. Now this thing, let me give you another picture. Let me see. There's its name. I didn't take a whole front panel picture. Oh, it's still 90 degrees turned. Oh, I had a battle with this thing. But yeah, it's a Logimetrix. There's the RF output terminated, and to the right is the RF input. It's a model A330 TWT amplifier. Okay, then on the same front panel you have where the control buttons are. You've got local, because it can also be controlled remotely via a GPIB or HPIB bus. Then you have a power on button, power off button, RF on and RF off. That switches on the HT. When you say power on, it starts with a timer, 2-minute timer for the filament to warm up properly, and only then can you press the RF on button, which switches on the high voltage. And then you can press any of these ones at the bottom to get your collector voltage, helix voltage, and helix current. And then you can have the output power either in watts or in dBs, probably dBm. So that is that, the control. Then you have, yeah, okay, so once you've pressed power on, like that, the display, I keep on pressing the wrong thing, the display will look like that. Power on, timing, 85 seconds to go. It starts at 120 seconds, and so it's got a 2-minute timer for the filament. And once that is gone, it goes into standby mode. And once it's there, you can press, okay, that should be there, it's in standby. It's power on in standby mode. In other words, it's warmed up, the filament is ready, so you can now switch it on. And when you switch it on, it goes into power on helix overcurrent. Now sometimes it does come on and then it says the helix current is 1.2 milliamps, which is about right as far as I remember, because I can't find it on the internet anymore, so I'm busy looking through a huge stack of printed papers, because I did print out the specs for this TWT, and the voltages sound right from what I can remember, and also the helix current. So I think there's something wrong with the current sensing inside this thing. Because it protects the tube. It won't allow it to go over current on the helix. And then, okay, let's see. That's what the power supply looks from the top. That round thing with the square PC board on top, that's a big ferrite transformer for the high voltage, the switch mode supply. And you can see it's all high voltage resistors and stuff, and high voltage caps, those reddish pinkish blocks sitting there, and the thick insulated wires. And then all of a sudden, to the right of the board, you see normal little ICs and stuff. That's the low voltage area, and that gets coupled via optical fiber to the high voltage side. There's a couple of those optical connectors. You can see one about in the middle to the top, where it plugs in on the edge of the board, and way to the right of that, just behind that ribbon going there, is another one, and there's 4 of them, I think. Anyway, it's all optical fiber, so that you don't get high voltage corona stuff onto your CMOS chips. And as you can see on the board, the low voltage control board, there's lots of 10-turn little blue trimmers. So they've all been sealed nicely. So I don't want to just start turning on them, because you don't know what you're turning. If I could just find the current set point for the helix current, I'd like to twiddle that a bit, to zero that, because at one stage I unplugged the tube. The wires go to the tube is that Molex connector there, slightly to the right at the top, with only 3 wires, a brownish one and a white one and a red one at the bottom. Those are the 3 wires going to the tube. The top 2 is filaments floating at minus 3,000 something, and the red one is the collector one, which is at 1,000 something, minus 1,000 something volts. I've checked all the caps and stuff for ESR and capacity, and they're all fine. So that is my dilemma, and that is what the actual TWT looks like. It's that golden box next to the circulators and stuff there, and that's bolted. You can see the white heatsink paste sticking out onto the bigger golden block, which is a finned heatsink, and it's got 2 fans in cascade bolted together, sucking heat over that lot when the cover is on, of course. On the other side, it's got one that blows in, but these 2, they suck out. Anyway, so it's a pretty noisy affair. But I'd love to get it going. But yeah, it's hazardous to work on. Oh, and every time when you've switched it off and you switch it on again, you have to wait 2 minutes for the freaking filament timer. Yeah, okay, so that's what's keeping me busy at the moment. Yeah, I think I've shown you all the pictures that I wanted to. Power supply, timing, control panel. There must be one open somewhere because it's not giving my camera. Here's my camera now. Where's this freaking thing that's now on? They're all off. They're all off. Oh, there it is, the control panel. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so that's what's taking up a lot of my time at the moment, is to try and get this Logimetrics amplifier going. Okay, back to next one is Phil, M0 PIT for the group from ZS1 Mike.
Turn the audio off. Right. Looks like we're there. Sun is bouncing off the back door. Sorry, off the door, not the back door, but the door. It's bleaching me out a bit. I'll draw the blinds later. Anyhow, right. Leon, very interesting piece of kit. Can understand that you want to get it going, which is very much like me. You don't want to be defeated. You might never use it again, but you want to get it working. Can't stand things that are not working. But you're talking about monitoring of high voltage. The last net you asked me about that big transmitter that I worked on, which I've got a picture of the valve jacket, if I can find it. Hang on, I've got to find it first. There we go. That's the valve jacket. Now, sitting on the anode of that valve, and it's negative as well, not positive, it's negative. It's about 32 kilovolt, and it's about 10 amps because it will deliver 250 kilowatt with this PA, but because of the amount of RF and the high voltage, let's go back because it's that. Right. Yeah, because of the amount of RF and high voltage, the monitoring of anything on the output stage has to be isolated. And they used fibre optic, the design of it. This is 1976. And they used fibre optic for remote monitoring. And if you look on the valve jacket, you will see a metal-clad, gold-coloured resistor. And what they did, they had that in line with what they want to monitor. And in a little box, like a die-cast box, there would be a resistor, a small resistor, and an LED. And then inside that die-cast box goes the fibre optic. And it's just, I think my memory serves me correct, it was just glued to the LED. And at the other end of the fibre optic cable, you would have the analog detector, and that was how the monitoring of the RF voltages and currents, etc., were done. absolutely, these were 200 watt metal clad resistors at about, I can't remember what they were, about 0.01 or something stupid like that. But that was how they did it. It was on fibre optic, but nothing, no chips or anything like that, because they weren't around in those days. Well, not isolation chips anyhow. Well, they certainly didn't have them for the transmitter. Anyhow, so that's that. Hang on, let's go back to me. I keep looking at that. Where am I? Here I am. Right. Okay. So yeah. So that was 1976. Fibre optic monitoring. Just out of interest, the logic control of the transmitter was thick film modules, and they were 24 volts. So all the logic on the transmitter was actually 24 volt logic, which is a bit unusual. But anyhow, that's what it was. What have I been doing? I've been doing absolutely no electronics at all. I've been purely getting ready for my next trip, which is on Wednesday. So we've been working on preparation of some of the stuff we're taking and the itinerary and loading up the ambulance which we're taking. So that's really what I've been doing. I haven't really been doing much else. And if you want to see some photographs of the ambulance, if there is any interest, I can always put them up on my second over if anybody's interested. But anyhow, so that's really me. I'm going to disappear on Wednesday. I should be gone for at least 2 weeks. So I probably won't be seeing you guys for probably 3 weeks. Will you video? Yes, I have lots of... Nigel's on the chat. He's asked about video of the trip. Well, it's a long trip. Yeah, it's a long trip. It's going to be about 30 hours. So we can't video it all. But I do have lots of video from dash cams. But, yeah, but don't really like putting too much of it up on the satellite. But there we go. If there's any interest, just say and I'll show you some photographs of the ambulance. So anyhow, that's enough from me waffling on. So I will do a second over. But I don't really have a great deal to say. But anyhow, right, who's next on the list? Peter's next on the list. So right. So if I put up a test card.
Okay. GW7BZY. That was I was expecting a test card. GW7. Yeah, I'm looking a bit pink though. I've been out in the sun. That's what I've been out last week. Well, over the last couple of days. It's not my camera gone wrong. All good. I think Leon, Mike MJW has put up a manual for your bit of kit up on WhatsApp, I think. Also the link on the chat if you're interested. I'm sure you are. Yeah, I've done less than you, Phil, on the radio front, really. Not a lot of any. The only thing drama that I've had here is with the water. Not staying in the tap or the pipe, but out on the drive. So had a water board round, and I was a bit worried about it, how much it was all going to cost, etc. But luckily, here in Wales, when I say lucky, it's not always lucky, but that we don't have to pay. So I'm quite happy. That was a bit of a relief. I might have to pay the excess for the loss of water, but I'm not even sure about that. I think they're going to give me allowance. So all's good. All's well that ends well, eh? So that's what I've been doing this side. I've been worrying about me leaking water.
And of course, to make it a little bit worse, it wasn't really on my drive, it was on next door's drive. And I was lucky once again there, because the old lady that owns the property is away and unlikely to come back, make a return, unfortunately. So didn't have to worry about digging a hole in the drive either. So all's good, all's well that ends well, etc. I've been looking for a VB. What have I been doing amateur television wise? I've been trying to get DATV Red input UDP without compressing it, but of course I don't think it will. I was looking at the wiki site, and it all goes through, regardless of input, into the encoder. But I think I've seen somebody on the satellite today, at least, that is running VBC very successfully and very nice pictures. So they said transport, so I don't know whether they've got a hardware encoder or not, but certainly they're doing a good job of it. So I'm looking for a VBC hardware encoder, or a very low delay H.265 encoder that works through UDP, just for something to play with. As the long delays is tiring, isn't it? You want low latency, and they're quoting stuff like 2 frames. Now I don't know whether that's doable in reality, but that sounds interesting. So that's all. What else? I haven't written anything down that anybody said. Fantastic bit of kit there, Leon. 6 to 18 gigs. That's a certainly useful bandwidth, isn't it? I'm sure if you got something to receive it, that sounds like, and an antenna. I suppose that's not all of a problem if you can get it working. With that, I'll hand it round. I might come back on again. We'll see. Who am I going to hand it to? I photographed the screen, so it's PA3FBX Benno. Good afternoon to you, Benno. I'll just say that we have it 3 o'clock here in the UK now, and it's a much better time than 2 o'clock on the Sunday. So I'm back home. I've been down to Barmouth for a morning out with the wife for a latte and a bit of breakfast. But she's gone off to see her mother now. It's just nice, 3 o'clock. GW7BZY. Without a test card, because I haven't got one. Handing it over to Benno. Can't fly, but I can fade to black.
Seems to have audio and even a test card and a camera. Well, things works flawlessly today here, apparently. Yeah, wasn't there last week. I was out in the field somewhere along the line, and I have done quite a bit over the last few days. Well, I went on my mobile home, was at a camping site, and you know where you are at the camping site, you get free Wi-Fi, at least here in Europe we have, at camping sites. Most of the camping sites offer free Wi-Fi, and yeah, it's nice if you want to connect your phone to it or whatever you want to connect to it. Well, not really whatever to want to connect to it, because we technicians, we hams, like wired. We don't like Wi-Fi, we want a UTP cable. And obviously they don't offer you a UTP. And someone wants to try to connect to me. Yeah, what I built myself is one of this, which is just a Raspberry, but it's doing reverse networking. So basically I have my Wi-Fi antenna connected to it, and it offers me a fresh UTP connection with a new IP number, and I can just go to the screen and connect to the Wi-Fi here, no problem, and I have a pretty stable Wi-Fi connection there. Well, I know the average computer can do that, but I always found lots of problems getting a dedicated and stable connection, and I found that this was pretty good available, and now I can put the antenna close to the hotspot and have a great signal on the Wi-Fi. I don't talk about a little too loud. Nigel wants me a little bit louder, softer. He can turn me down a little bit. Nigel, a little bit less loud. Yeah. So that's what I did for the camping ground. And this week I got someone showed a new project on the local, ham group here, and they showed it on. He had built it, and he said, "Well, that's a nice project. I can show you. It is HF. It's really HF. It's the DC bands. It's not gigahertz, but well, while we're talking about 10G, we can also, and Wi-Fi, we can also talk about HF, I would say. So just to show you the small video, let me see if that works. So he connected this together, which is a Wemos D1, and it made itself a whisper beacon. So first it connects to the internet and collects the time and date from that to synchronize NTP, which you need for whisper, and then it will transmit. Well, it's warming up, so let's continue a little bit. Let me see. So now it's transmitting on 10 meters for a whisper beacon, and then we have decided to improve this whole lot and make it on 3 bands. So next it will transmit on 10 meters, and then on 20 meters, and then on 40 meters, and then vice versa. So yeah, I saw this project, and I think, yeah, you can use some experimental board to connect this, because I only like one system. But then I talked to this guy and I said, what if we are going to make a PCB for it? So we talked front and back a little bit, and I came up with this idea. On this plug, on the green plug, there is the OLED, and here's the Wemos, and on the back there is the sys board, and obviously a 5-volt regulator coming from 12 volt, some LEDs for showing whatever we are going to do. And then we said, yeah, well, if we are going to transmit, obviously we need to do some band filtering. So I came up with this extension plug on the back. I thought let's put that extension in there, and then put some amplification, BS170, and some band filtering, some low pass filtering with some diodes, and it's choosing the band and transmitting, well, say 50 or 100 milliwatts out of this SMA plug. So this project started to get running now, and the next guy said, I'm going to design a cabinet for it, a 3D printed cabinet for it, and the other one says, I'm going to play with the software a little bit to improve a little bit the bugs and things like that. And I think we have a very nice local project, and yeah, it's not ready, it's just fresh off the air of the drawing board, and I think there is a lot of improvement. This might be a local project. Being local, well, people know how to contact me if they want to get more information on that. Whisper, there are so many boards already, but this is a very small, it's a 4 by 8 centimeter board with everything on the front and things like that. Well, that's just the idea what I'm working at the moment, and so much information to continue on this project. Okay, well, that's that. Oops, I shouldn't show you that. Let me come back to you, and that's the project I'm working at the moment, besides so much other things, because well, time flies when you have fun. I'm getting ready for the Formula 1, and yeah, the time of the day of the transmission of the World Wide Web net, that's always in discussion. I won't go into that discussion. I think it's rather late on the afternoon, and people in India will say it's very late at night, and in Brazil they might say it's just at lunchtime. It's a very bad time. We'll never talk about the right time on the World Wide Web time, Peter. Okay, passing it on. It seems to me that I'm the last one on the list. I'm passing it on to back to Martin. See if you sorted out your audio yet. I saw you testing. I think you found the solution. So I think they solved your problem already. Okay, let's see if I can show you a test card. There it is. Passing it on back to you, Martin, from PA3 Fox Bravo X-Ray.
I'm frightened to talk now in case it sounds awful. I've got some different earpieces in. It sounds better than what it was sounding. I won't say that it's perfect, but we'll have to live with that for the moment. Yeah, it's tied up with I think the Bluetooth earpieces that I was using was then Windows was taking control. Thank you there, Mike. Windows was taking control and seemed to be mixing up the settings of the Bluetooth with the Yeti settings. Anyway, we've selected which the Yeti should be the default mic, but anyway, we reselected it, and hopefully we're back in business. Yeah, I don't know whether you logged the video that I showed, but I'll show it again. Is the VK boys have been pushing their super wide signals that they like out there, and they've been using Pluto and managing to get the good results. With the firmware has been 0303. Others don't seem to work, although Rob I think spent 4 hours playing with different ones, but the 0303 has managed to get the results. I'll play again because it shows the pie chart, etc. in it as things are going. So just in case people didn't pay attention, which I don't blame them. I was confused totally. I should do more tests. Anyway, let's just play a little bit of the video. Probably long enough. That if you want to see more of it, it is on YouTube, or go to VK3IE's site, and yeah, it seems to be working exceptionally well. So I think they were quite pleased with that, using just standard Pluto, and also the Pluto Plus he used as well, because he was using the Pluto Plus originally. And then I forced him to try a standard Pluto as well. So they're all going on. Anyway, what else have I been up to? My radialess node, because Benno's now the expert there, has decided that it won't connect to anything. Other than it did connect to the brain cells gone now, the Echo lot, where you can talk back to yourself. It connected to that okay, but it won't connect to anything else at the moment. So all advice from the expert now, which is Benno on All Star. I've forgotten it all now. So that's my job to do later. The other thing I've been playing with is I've had bouncing effectively on the mouse. You click on something and it'd open up 2 or 3 windows. And I've been trying. It's a wireless mouse, to be fair. It's a Dell wireless mouse and a Dell keyboard, because it's a Dell computer. And the Dell computers, when you get them, they come with a keyboard and a mouse as part of the kit, shall we say. Well, I got a new one because I had problems with the old one, so they actually gave me a new one, which was quite good, because the old one was about 3 years old. So it brought me up to date. But I carried on using the old keyboard. Now, the original Dell, I think, was Windows 10. Whether it had anything to do with it, I don't know. But I was going over to Decreasing Circles, and I thought, well, let's dig this box of the other mouse and keyboard out. And it looks identical, but it's slightly different. Which the sort of case looks almost identical, so it hasn't got feet that you can put under it, and the mouse has a slight sort of difference. So whether it's got a different program, different chips, whatever, but the long and short of it, it cured everything. You now click on anything and it just opens one up, not multiple ones, etc. I did wonder whether it was the actual dongle itself, but I've been reluctant to change things back to prove a point, being it has been an absolute nightmare, and it's now perfect. It was very difficult to select things. OBS issues. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that. Do you mean the sound? No, I think it was a Windows issue. I hate to say it, but definitely a Windows issue. With it trying to, when it's done updates, etc., wants to rearrange things, and I know Mike always used to moan about it, and I used to think, well, I don't get any problems with that. Well, recently I've been getting problems with that,
So the problems will come my way. Apart from that, and gardening and tidying up things in particular, not really done a great deal. And yeah, I won't mention the no such issues with using vMix. No, there's just so many other issues though. Usually your audio syncs out and etc. etc. No, I'm not going to go there. And it costs an arm and a leg. You know, we can't all afford to have vMix like these well-to-do people in North Wales. I think it's North Wales, isn't it? Anyway, there's enough banter on that side of things. I get enough from Rob, who sends me all sorts of bits and pieces. Actually, I don't know if I can find a picture he sent me yesterday. He says, I should have things ready, shouldn't I? But oh, that's the one he showed up, so we can stick it on the screen over there. Just it's actually quite. It's not usually a dodgy one to show, but he seems to be able to produce all sorts of images and things and such like. And there was another one, I think. Maybe not. We'll just leave it at that one. No, that's wrong. Oh yeah, there was that one as well. Trouble is, I'm not sure that KD is right, because I thought I was LE, but maybe I'm now KD. But thanks to Rob there. Lots of banter between him and myself. Right. Yeah, good on what you're doing there, Leon, and thanks for taking over and bring some sanity to the net. And if anybody wants to take over and do the net, that's open to openness. I didn't intend to do it as long as I've been doing it, but it's open. Others, I was hoping we'd get sort of something like 5 people that would put their own slant onto things. And if you move the net back to where it was, then us in the UK suffer lunchtime problems. So it hits it there. Yeah, I don't know. But whatever the net wants to go, and I can't make all the time lunchtime. I had to rearrange my dinner totally. And India, there are not many stations that seem to want to come on from India. So that was one thing that we did ask the questions, etc. I don't know. I'm not on WhatsApp and etc. So I don't know what comments are going there. So I'm a bit out of what is going on. But all I'd say is if no one else wants to do the net, because I was getting a bit concerned that everybody was disappearing and I was left by myself. But Leon's always there. So big thank you to him. Right, long waffle from me. Nigel, you're going to do the net. Great. That would be good. No, seriously, if you want to at any time, because it'd be nice to get a different slant of things. People must be getting bored with the way I'm sort of doing things, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, that's my rant for this week. I know Leon would always take over, but I don't want to keep sort of just dumping it on. Yeah, okay then, Nigel. I thought you had such a big dish that you didn't need very much power on your little PA. Weren't you using SG Labs little PA? I use that as a driver stage at the moment. Beautifully built. Right. Enough on the chat, I think. Over to you there, Leon. Bring even more sanity back to things.
Okay, Martin. G8Koe in the group. ZS1 Mike returning. Yeah, well, what do we need sanity for? We radio hams. Okay, what I used to measure my HT is this. This is a proper electrostatic Gaussian voltmeter that I bought from the work sale. Oh gee whiz, it's still got the thing, SABC. It goes to 6 kV, it's infinite impedance, and it's very accurate. But I just checked it with this because it gives the voltages on that digital display anyway. Yeah, and thanks, Mike. I'll have a look at that link and see. The TWT itself is Varian, but I don't think they're still in existence. I think Varian's died. I'm not sure, because when you go onto their website, they say this site is for sale, so many $1,000s. So anyway, but somewhere amongst my paperwork I must have something about that tube. It's an all metal tube. It sounds like it should be glass, but it's no, it's modern. But anyway, the life expectancy is 41,000 hours, they say, which is quite long for something that's not on permanently. We used to get about 12,000 hours on the TV final valves, on the YL 1430s and so on, 12 kilowatts, and that was supposed to be good. Okay, right, Martin. Yeah, glad you've sorted out your audio problem. And Phil, yeah, you can show us some pictures about your trip. And then we'll some of the ambulance. We won't ask you any questions. And Benno, yeah, I see you built that. What is it? A LAN to Wi-Fi converter thing. I don't like either of those. Anyway, I don't understand it. I work with copper wire, screened, not unscreened twisted pairs. Okay, right, I have a sked at 5 o'clock local time on 40 meters FM. So I'll quickly give it to Phil and then quickly check the rest. From ZS1 Mike saying 73s, and see you guys next week hopefully.
There we go. Thanks, Leon. Yeah, it's not so bad now. I've pulled the blinds over, so the door behind me is not bleaching me out. But there we go. Yeah, okay. I don't really have a great deal to say, but I can show you some pictures of the ambulance. There she is. There she is. We've named her Iris after a 104-year-old lady who has recently passed away, who used to knit cuddly toys for us. So we've named the vehicle after her, so that's Iris. Okay, that's just another view of her. Show you another one. That's with the side door open. And that's what she looked like inside. when we after we cleaned her. It's been standing for I don't know how long, quite some time, probably a year or whatever. But so we put the rubber gloves on and gave her a good clean inside. That's just another view. She's fully commissioned. There are no oxygen cylinders there, but all the pipe work for it is there. It's got a couple of 240 volt sockets there and various 12 volts. The interesting thing is, and I don't know why, in 2 locations in that area there are 12 volt terminals, just the normal red and black screw terminals. I've got no idea what they're for, but they are there. So that's that one. Let's have a look. This is when we started to load. This is on the other side. So any compartment that we've got, we try to fill, but we are very restricted to weight because that ambulance weighs an awful lot. So we can't actually just load it up willy-nilly. It's got to be we are very conscious of weight, and we have to be, because we will get impounded if we're overweight and they catch us. This is some of the compartments inside that we filled. It's all medical gear, apart from what you see there. Those are gift bags that have been made up that will be handed out. They are sort of full of essential items, personal essential items. You can see on the left there, that's some more of them, and then you've just got basically medical stores, equipment, whatever, that are there. That's medical again. More medical, and then there's a frame that's down the bottom there that we've taken apart and we've lashed up. This is the final one. This is the stretcher that is now covered in crutches and walking frames, and then there's a chair on the side of that, or at the back of that. So that's our ambulance. We've got not quite a large number, but we've got probably, I don't know, we've got about 20 bleeding control kits, which are very expensive. And I'm just looking for a camera. I can. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we should load that in, and that's really about it. I've got 2 tablets that I'm taking, and they're going to a special needs school. I think I showed you one of them last week, but that will be going to a special needs school. So right, so we leave Wednesday. We're away for somewhere between 2 to 3 weeks. We haven't got a return date, but it will be somewhere between 2 to 3 weeks. So I won't be seeing you guys for a couple of weeks. So I hope the weather is good for you guys, and you'll stay well. And I shall see you on my return. So I'm going to hand it over to Peter. So I am going to put up a test card, but this time I'm going to wait until I receive it myself before I kill carrier.
Okay, I was going to put a test card on, but I will. There we go. There's a quick test card. I was just lining it up when when your test card only lasts a split second there. So I don't know where you're going to with your ambulance, but I think you're allowed, is it 5 or 10% overweight in this country, but it's not so abroad. So I don't think in France or Germany. I don't know about France, but I know that I expect the rules are fairly pan-European if you're in the EU, but no such thing abroad. Anyway, all good. I don't know what I've come on now. I haven't got nothing apart from that. What's this? I've written down something. Oh yeah, Leon, you can look back online now. If you Google it, I don't know how you do it. I've never done it, but it is doable. So if the website existed, then you can look back and have a look at the last pages, and perhaps if it's still there, there may be some information that will be of use to you. If you've gone, well, you won't see this, will you? But there we are. That's why I've come on, really. Otherwise, that's it for me as well. From GW7 BZY in sunny Wales. Barmouth is where I like to go to. If you look on the Google Maps, if you're interested, it's quite a nice little seaside town with little fun fair. There's no pier, but there is a very nice seaside there, and there's dodgems and various entertainments, which I haven't bothered with. I'm a bit old for all that kind of thing, and I have a really good fireworks there, and a bonfire in November as well. But anyway, so I go there with the wife. That's where I went this morning, and I'm quite happy, I think, with the time as it is, and hopefully it'll stay that way. I haven't seen anybody from India, and I think Phil said so. There should be too much interest in that direction at the moment. With that, I'll hand it round. Who am I handing it round to? I think I'm handing it round to Benno, aren't I? I haven't got it. Yeah, PBX Benno. FPX Benno. From GW7 BZY from sunny Royslon. Been very sunny here of late, but it won't last. It's promising to end today. Shall I go for a test card? I think I will. And then we're going to go for a roll. I think we will. Yeah, this is how you do it with vMix.
Still, I miss the audio test card, or a little bit audio to see where if we have audio. Yeah, yeah, I understand, Phil, that this van, this ambulance goes to some place where it should do a good old day's deed in service or whatever reason. So anyway, nice job. I will see you in time, and I will see the pictures then of the conversion. And yeah, Leon. Yeah, internet, sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. With DATV and all the conversion and talkback channels and chat rooms and things like that. Yeah, you hardly can transmit on the Q100 not watching at least 3 sites on the internet, Leon. And if you're out in the field, you keep having this problem of having a reasonable good internet site for either streaming or for chatting, because, like I said, if you're working on the Q100 on the wideband, it is advised and requested that someone watches the chat, Leon. And therefore you need the internet, as it is still not transmitted by the Q100 itself. I think that's probably one of the big requests some people are already working on, that we have a data channel that we can do the wideband chat via the Q100, which would be perfect for at least Q100 service. But yeah, I like also having internet for other things, and I think yeah. For the rest, nothing else much. We have up to yesterday we had great weather. We had a little bit water, a little bit rain this night, but the whole afternoon, after at 10 o'clock it started to bright up, and we have nice weather outside again here. But they promised it will be the last of it, so we have to be happy with it. And we had at least a great season so far for the weather. So far that it's too dry. The farmers all complaining about too dry, and the whole nature was screaming for water. So we need a little bit of rain, and yeah, let's see what's happening there this week. That means that I have to be more inside, and that's always great that I have a little bit more hobby time, because my shack has exploded over the last 2 weeks, being at other places and just grabbing my stuff in and out. Okay, well, that's all. 73 is all from Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-Ray, and 73s, and I think Martin, I can close the net. 73 is all till next week, Easter time, Easter Sunday, and I don't know if I'm around. That's all depending on the agenda of the family here at this address. From PA 3 Fox Bravo X-Ray, and a little bit test card, as it should be, with a little bit audio as it should be. Bye bye.
Yeah, your audio is absolutely cracking there, Benno, and do like the stereo effect. It is really good. And yeah, you didn't comment on fixing my All-Star radialess node for me. I had to get the brain cell going. It's no good. Anyway, I enjoyed the net this week, and look forward to in a couple of weeks' time when Nigel said he'd do it. I think that's what he said anyway. No, it's no pressure at all. But it'd be always good to have somebody else. And I'm gonna close the net. I'll try and be a bit more together next week. So I suspect I should be doing it. Unless I get any volunteers between now and then. And on that note, I'll close the worldwide net. But I know Leon's going to come back, because he always does come back, even though I close the net. So I'm going to put up a little bit of the logo and say 73 thanks for everybody for popping up. And that's all the information.
Talked about the same problem you're talking about a few weeks ago.
Ah, okay.
Look at the forum for about 3-4 weeks ago.
Thank you there, Benno. Yeah, no, it's all right. I'll get there. Thank you very much. just note that you're the expert now on All Star, and it's Benno coming back on the talkback, which is actually very useful because that is how I knew my audio was rubbish. Was able to attempt to do something about it. And Whisper, I didn't comment on the Whisper. All the little PCBs and projects that you put together just amazed me at the speed. But I don't have any interest in Whisper at all. All those sort of digital modes, other than FT8, etc., you get it up and running and go, yeah, that was good. That's what I think anyway. On that note, I better go before someone lynches me. 7 days to all, good net, and look forward to the next one from G8Koe, closing the worldwide net.